Hi, my name is Thane. I work at the public library. Thanks for inviting me here to your book club. I understand as a group you guys have pretty diverse tastes, so I tried to get a wide selection of different kind of books here. I got fiction and nonfiction. Hopefully you'll find something you guys like, or maybe you'll like it all, which would be great. Let's find out, shall we? So the first book I'd like to talk to you about is called Astros Polyp by David Machiavelli. So it's raining outside. Astros is lying in bed, watching TV, all alone. He's lying in bed in his New York City apartment. It's actually a really nice apartment, but much like Astros himself, it's kind of gone to crap. No one's taking care of it, and it's really falling apart. There's stacks of dirty dishes everywhere. There's bills stacked up in piles, unpaid. There's just clutter everywhere. And there's Astros right in the middle of it, lying in bed, watching TV, alone. And then there's a crack of lightning. Crack of lightning? Crack of thunder when lightning strikes the building and it catches on fire. Astros jumps up out of bed and he runs around his apartment frantically, risking his life to retrieve 3 items before he makes his escape. He scrambles around and he finds a watch, a lighter, and a Swiss Army knife. And then he runs out the door, down the stairs, and into the street. And he stands there in the rain, watching his apartment burn to the ground. Then Astros walks away to the bus station, takes all the money he has out of his wallet, and buys a bus ticket as far as he can go. When Astros gets off that bus, he starts over. And as he begins his new life, bits and fragments of his old life slowly come into focus that tell the story of who he is, where he came from, and how he ended up where he is now. Astros reveals the origin of his unusual name. He reveals his profession. He's an architect. He's an architectural professor. He's actually a paper architect, meaning he's designed all kinds of things. He's got award-winning designs, inventive designs. He's considered brilliant, but none of his stuff has actually ever been made into physical buildings. It only exists on paper. And Astros reveals what the 3 items mean that he took with him from his apartment, the 3 items that they're the only link between his old life and his new life. The watch, the lighter, and the Swiss Army knife. And Astros eventually starts talking about Hannah. Hannah, who is the love of his life. Or was the love of his life. But as far away as Astros ran and as hard as he tries, he eventually discovers he can't really run away from who he is. But he also finds out that maybe it's not too late for redemption. Or is it? Astros Polyp by David Machiavelli. Next book I'd like to talk to you about is called Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. Tuesdays with Morrie is a story of a dying man's last days on Earth. Morrie Schwartz was Mitch Albom's university professor at Brandeis University. And Mitch really loved him and really had a great relationship with him and vowed to keep in touch with him when he graduated in 1979. But he didn't. He forgot all about his beloved professor until, by chance, one day in 1995, he caught Morrie on TV. Morrie was on the Ted Koppel show, being interviewed on Nightline by Ted Koppel. And that's when Mitch found out that Morrie was dying of ALS, a degenerative disease, commonly known as Lou Gehrig's disease. But this isn't a story of death. This is a story of life. Morrie was determined to make his last days count. Every morning he would spend a few minutes grieving his situation and his impending death, but after that he really vowed to live life. Mitch started visiting Morrie every Tuesday, and they'd spend time together talking about life and death and Morrie's philosophy and what was really important. To Morrie, what was important was being with people, living life, loving, laughing, and saying goodbye. These Tuesdays that Mitch spent with Morrie ended up being the greatest class he ever took, and the knowledge he gained from it, he carried with him for the rest of his life. Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. The first rule of Fight Club is we don't talk about Fight Club. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Adams, excuse me. It all began the morning the bulldozer came to wipe out Arthur Dent's house to make room for a highway bypass. Arthur Dent did not approve of his house getting knocked down by this bulldozer, so there he was, laying in the mud in his bathrobe, trying to stop it from happening. And that's when Ford Prefect came along, Arthur's friend. He dragged Arthur out of the mud, took him down to the pub, and got him a drink. The drink wasn't because Arthur was losing his house. The drink was for he was about to find out. Because what Ford Prefect told Arthur was, in exactly 12 minutes, the Earth was going to end. What Arthur Dent didn't know is that Ford Prefect was in fact an alien from a small planet in the vicinity of Betelgeuse. He was in fact a researcher for that wholly remarkable book, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. But Ford Prefect had been stuck on Earth for the past 15 years, waiting for a flying saucer to come by close enough that he could make his escape. And now was his chance. So, exactly 12 minutes later, when the Earth was vaporized, Arthur Dent and Ford Prefect were not in fact vaporized because they were on board that Vogon starship that had come through to blast the Earth away to make room for a hyperspatial bypass. And thanks to Ford Prefect's hitchhiking skills, they were safely aboard the ship. And that's when Ford Prefect introduced Arthur Dent to the wonders of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. A wholly remarkable book. Excuse me, I lost my train of thought here. Yes, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which told you everything you wanted to know about the universe, but were afraid to ask. On the cover, it has in big friendly type the reassuring words, "Don't panic." It teaches you everything you need about hitchhiking the galaxy, why towels are a hitchhiker's best friend, how to insert a babblefish into your ear to instantly translate any language, and why Vogon poetry is the worst thing in the world. Or universe, because there's no world, because Earth just died. And so there you go. The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Don't leave Earth without it. And the last book I wanted to share with you guys is a work of nonfiction. It is in fact an art book called Post-Secret, Extraordinary Confessions by Ordinary People. It's compiled by Frank Warren. So in November of 2004, Frank Warren printed up 3,000 blank postcards with 3 words stamped on the back: share a secret. It was a simple idea for a simple community art project. The idea is you're supposed to anonymously write down a secret, decorate the card however you want, and send it in the mail to Post Secret, 13345 Copper Ridge Road, Germantown, Maryland, 20874. So Frank started handing these postcards out at the subway station. He would leave them in art galleries. He would put them in all sorts of public places. And slowly, the cards started coming back to him. Excuse me. Where am I? Sorry. Lost my train of thought again. Slowly the cards started coming back to him. After a few weeks he stopped handing them out. But still the cards came. They came from all over the world. They came in all kinds of different languages. Portuguese, French, German, Hebrew, even Braille. He started getting homemade postcards on cardboard, on photos, on all kinds of found objects. And every single postcard was a work of art. Some are funny, and some are sad. Some are joyful, and some are disturbing. Some are endearing, and some are heartbreaking. And every single one tells a story. And I'd like to share a couple with you just right now. If I can find my place, what I marked. Here we go. I feel blank inside. When I get angry, I write nasty words on my toaster strudel. When my friends go on diets, I discourage them. This is because I really just want them to be fatter than I am. I can eat an entire box of donuts in one sitting. I give decaf to customers who are rude. What hurts more than losing you is knowing you're not fighting to keep me. I steal old library cards. Every time I get my toenails done, I want to kick the girl doing them in the face. I'm with the first person I've ever been able to truly trust. He is the only person I have ever cheated on. I am afraid of women who wear capri pants. So Frank believes the act of writing down a secret on a postcard and mailing it is therapeutic, that it's a step towards healing. And from the feedback he's gotten, it can work. And in fact, sometimes it can work even before the postcard ends up in the mailbox. Frank received this letter from one fan of the Post Secret Project and would-be contributor. It goes like this. Dear Frank, I have made 6 postcards, all with secrets that I was afraid to tell the one person I tell everything to, my boyfriend. This morning I planned to mail them, but instead I left them on the pillow next to his head while he was sleeping. 10 minutes ago he arrived at my office and asked me to marry him. I said yes. So that's Post Secret, Extraordinary Confessions by Ordinary People, compiled by Frank Warren. So that's all I got today. I'm happy to talk with you more about the books if you're interested. And there we go.